Rub it in.
This has been the craziest
right.
2 weeks. Hey, Canal, can
We're
you
there.
see this?
What are you going on right now, Ike? I don't
Yeah,
see
we're-
the button yet. Here we go.
we're live.
So we're live. Hey man, it's
Oh,
the Backrow Roundtable. We haven't done this in a while, and for some people, but for us, it's not a good thing. I'm going to really quickly introduce everybody. Ike Stevens is here. Hello, Ike.
What's up, everybody?
How's it
Just
going?
sitting
Say
here,
hi.
just getting everything
Say
set up.
hi.
Hi.
Ike Stevens is here. Dave Daly, Yukon Cornelius is here.
Hello. Hello.
We have a special guest tonight. Actually,
Hello,
two
world.
special guests. Trucking exec.
I gotta go
is
over here and do your bill.
Okay.
Pull your truck out.
Scott
Just
Cartwright.
give me
got it.
about 10 minutes. You can come in.
Okay.
Who's this? Scott Cartwright's here. And say hi, Scott.
Hola.
Hola. And we have JCanell is here. JCanell.
Yo,
JCanell.
JCanell shorts are here.
And Shooter McGavin, if I'm not mistaken, is here
That's right. In the flesh.
with his cheap ass knockoff phone. So sorry about Shooter's video quality, but he's cheap. So
Yeah. Can you do?
all right. Well, hey,
8 megapixels of love.
let's get right to it. Why doesn't everybody tell us where they are, what they're doing, what's new? Let's start with Ike. Where are you? What are you doing? What's
All
happening?
right. I am in, where am I at? Somewhere in Washington. Wherever the Tri-Cities is at. That's where I'm at. Taking the 34. And, yeah, that's what we're doing. That's why I'm here.
Nice. All right. You, Cornelius. Where is Yukon Cornelius? these
I am in
days?
Suffern, New York, in the tandem compound because I am a licensed longer commercial vehicle operator. And, I have to deliver in.
So you're pulling doubles today? Today you're pulling doubles.
Well, I was earlier. Now I delivered one of them already. I have to deliver the other one in Queens tomorrow morning, which I get paid big bucks to do. And
Queens. Nice.
I'll be out of there before 6 o'clock in the morning, so it's not a big deal.
Very cool.
So then I'll go
Shooter
home.
McGavin.
Cincinnati, Ohio, just got loaded with 43,000 pounds of whatever beverages, non-alcoholic, with my brand new trailer, well, at least brand new to me, and already go find a place to park for tonight. Excuse me, I gotta go sling my doors closed. Be right back.
He's
Well,
so
you're
dramatic.
excused. Shooter, you're excused.
Thank you,
JCanell,
guys.
Where are you? What are you doing?
Don't say anything good about me while I'm gone.
We won't.
Yeah, don't worry about that. So, Joe, where are you? What are you doing?
I just got back home. Did a beer run this morning. A little bit of Harrisonville over to Kansas, and then Kansas over to another location in Kansas, and just got back. It was a good 12-hour run in a very crappy
Nice.
truck. Thank you.
And we'll get to that in a minute, but I did steal Joe Kendall's truck. So,
Yes, you did.
where is Scott Cartwright today? I have a guess, but I better not assume anything.
No, well, I am sitting in the I'm sitting in the Safeway parking lot in Lone Tree, Colorado, waiting to go in to get chicken wings, zucchini, coconut oil spray, and eggs. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank Joe Candell for taking the beer run today. We turned a little bit of profit on that, I think.
A little bit.
Nice. All about the profits, isn't he? Even in the downtime. Are you you're in Lone Tree? Are you at the one on County Line Road? Because there's a wing place right next door to that place that rocks. So just
No, I know this has got to be homemade. So no, I'm at the one at what is it? Lincoln and Yosemite.
Okay, no good wings there.
JTM says, poor Scott looks domesticated.
Yeah.
I know, not everybody could see the chat. I'm
Poor
looking at it right
Scott.
now.
Yeah, I got it up right here.
Who else has the chat?
I got it.
How do you get the chat up?
Now you need
Gotta have a
another
separate
device.
thing.
You gotta have it on another unit. Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm looking right here, not right there. See,
technology
Tim
stuff.
Rohn says he's got the JCanell shorts on.
Well, I do
I do
too.
have shorts on.
Did Little Dog ever end up joining us, or was there an excuse for him, or what?
He's sitting there telling, "Hurry up, y'all, hurry up!" And now he's not here. He's a no-show.
Hurry up,
If he
hurry up.
shows up, he may do it.
He's too big of a star for
I'm-
us.
Right?
I'm enjoying my new troll.
Well, I'm in
Whatever.
Hiawatha, Kansas, which is a pretty cool little place. Parked by the side of the road because I have to be. And I end up in Denver, Colorado tomorrow morning.
Hammer down, truck driver.
Mhm.
Ike, I don't know what's going on
When
with
you-
your bandwidth, but we're having trouble hearing you.
I got him just fine.
Yeah, it's because I've got. Oh, I don't know. Can the chat hear me or what?
I can hear you.
I can
I
hear you.
can hear you.
Oh,
Waiting on that Weeboo sponsorship.
well, could be me, but I doubt it.
Touche.
So what do you got? Anybody got anything on their mind they want to talk about? What's up, man? A little bit.
There's a lot to talk about, isn't there?
I mean, there's a lot to talk about. I hesitate to bring up some of the subjects, but
Well, just put it all out there, man.
I got a question.
In my opinion.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry.
What?
Continue.
go, Scott. What's your
We're
question?
losing them. We're losing them.
oh, I know. I got a question. What the hell is the difference between coconut oil spray and just like regular like freaking Pam spray? What's the difference?
I don't even know. I'm gonna let some. Hey, Wilbur, you're the yuppie. You could answer that.
What you know what? He was cutting out. I didn't hear him. I
He
may
wants to know-
have a poor connection here. What
He
about
wants to
Pam's
know-
spray?
He wants to know what's the difference between coconut oil spray and Pam spray. Well, Pam is
Pam is
vegetable
not-
oil.
Yeah, it's vegetable oil. And coconut oil is
Coconut spray is coconut oil. It's healthier for you.
two different things. Yeah, two different.
Oh, the
Yeah.
healthy thing. I got 4 freaking bottles of Pam in the freaking cabinet, but I've got to go get coconut.
Oil. Now, coconut oil is good for you, and it has a different smoke point, so you can't really cook with it as much,
Right.
but it's still good for you.
But you can
Yeah.
still
You
like
know what?
lubricate a pan.
You know what the difference is? All
One's
that
for
you just
yuppies,
mentioned.
One's for rednecks.
Yeah, I guess it's like I've got hair on my scrotum. That's pretty much the difference.
I love it.
Set on a
All right.
chihuahua.
So that's a good question. Not. And what about so we have little guy quitting. We have Ollie Knight quitting. Who else is going to quit trucking? In the next, is there an
I quit right
over-under
now.
who quits?
I'm doing it right now. Scott, I quit. I'm out.
You
Peace.
quit,
Hang on,
Joe?
just-
That's
Totally.
it?
I'm gonna have
Right
to.
now. I gotta go. I'm gonna go be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Joe's going
All
to
right, let me
make
get rid of some of that noise there. There we go.
gaming videos.
Shooter was making a lot of noise. He's got a crappy freaking sound. He'll get back up in here.
There we go.
So
Tons better.
Everybody
Real rednecks use
everybody
bacon grease.
quitting. What'd you say?
This guy says real rednecks use bacon grease.
Since you're
Yeah,
reading the
that's
chat, I'm not going to. So do
There you
you
go.
have a Little Thunder said I should quit. You know what, Little Thunder, you could go screw yourself. I'm just gonna go ahead and just.
I
get
have a
rid of
hammer.
that.
Yeah.
Just get right to
Hey,
it.
you
Who's
got a
the
hammer? All right, so I'm going to just exit out of this on my end. How about that?
So I
can't
have
look down all
my
the time, but-
I want to bring something up. Joe Canal left these in the truck. Now, can you read
Oh
that?
yeah, I did. Damn, I needed those.
These are makeup removing facial towelettes.
I need those.
And,
Damn.
He left these in the truck, and I actually really like them. You know,
Well, me too.
kind of you use them for.
That's some Buffalo
Writing-
Bob shit right there.
Well, when I do tuck my testicles between my legs, I need makeup wipes. No, that's it's weird that I actually
well,
have a
here's what's-
collection of makeup.
Well, they were in the truck, Joe. And
I
I
know.
don't know, but I'm using them now,
Okay,
and I like them.
Probably not a good idea. That's
What?
they're not baby wipes.
I mean,
my
they
man.
take off.
Oh, here comes trouble. Here comes
Comes a big
trouble.
celebrity. Hey,
They take off the makeup pretty good. Yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Give Atomic Rewind a hammer.
Okay, so
Keep an
I don't
eye
have
on
the
things.
chat
looks like
open
we got
anymore
Lil Dawg
because there's
joining
no
us
you don't?
finally.
Okay,
so-
never mind. I can't.
I'm
do
in
it.
here. Sorry, I
Never
was
mind.
late, guys. I had to get out of the TA and then
He was
update the
pooping.
stupid app.
Whether I was
So where are you, Will, and what are you doing?
Whether I was pooping or not, it's none of your dang business, Romper for Jay.
So what's all this stuff about? Tell us this romper for Jay means. What's
Well,
up
Will
with that?
decided
I
to
don't know.
lie. Is what Will decided to do. Lie.
No, I had heard a rumor. Okay,
No. Don't start
Listen.
with lies, Will.
Jay, this is not a rumor. Is not a lie. There's some fact in there somewhere that you had an exciting video coming up. People were asking me what the video was about, and I got tired of being bugged, so I just put it out there and I said, "Hey,
Okay. I do have the
listen, I
technology.
believe he's going to be wearing. He's either going to be wearing, footy pajamas or a romper in his next video."
Nice.
Nice. I mean, footy pajamas for adults have been out for a long time. So
I'd be willing to.
Well,
I'd be willing to
rompers
bet
have been around
money
just as
that
long.
there is not a onesie pajama that.
Oh, here comes the
will
fat joke.
fit.
Here comes the
That
fat
will
joke.
fit Jay and
you'll be
JCanell.
surprised.
I'm willing to put money on that.
You'll be
There he
surprised.
goes. Here comes the fat
There's-
jokes now. Lies and
Six
fat
people up
jokes.
Lies and fat
Just
jokes,
imagine-
Joe. I know this is what they do to me all the
You're
time.
just big bone. You're just big
Is
bone.
that what it is? A big bone?
Imagine JCanell in the bunny outfit from that one Christmas
Oh,
movie.
from the
you know.
Christmas story.
I'm sorry, I
From a
can't
Christmas
hear
story.
you.
Nightmare.
The bullshit is way too loud.
Hey,
Breaker,
so
breaker. What?
Scott, I don't know if you saw. I know you were in the live feed that I did, but I would like to know your opinion about that guy that dropped the loaded reefer trailer up there in Minnesota.
I missed it. I was in.
What
I was
happened?
in and out there. I was on some calls, but I missed it. What was this? Give me the rundown.
Long story short, an owner operator, so not a lease driver over here, an owner operator that had one of Eddie's trailers dropped a loaded reefer that's set at -10 in a grocery store
Wow.
parking lot and took off.
And took off.
Like could you what do you mean?
Wow.
Like,
Said
Yep, quit.
dropped it there and quit.
I fucking quit, and here's how you do it. Wow.
I can say the first thing I would do. If he quit, then he's in. I don't know, man. I don't know how you want to handle it. If he quit, he's in stolen equipment. That's all I have to say.
Well, it's his truck. It was Eddie's
Oh, is
trailer.
it?
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
his truck?
Oh.
He abandoned
Well,
a
that-
trailer.
So he abandoned a loaded
abandoned
reefer trailer.
That's not... Why did he do? Is there a
Nate-
reason why?
In a grocery store parking lot. Well,
He did it in solidarity
just-
of someone else.
Solidarity.
he just and listen, that could very well be the case. I don't know.
So
You know what I'm
is,
saying?
can I just ask? I hate to look. I always hate it when people answer questions with questions, but can I just ask? Is that becoming like the cool thing to do now? Is to abandon stuff and just kind of fuck people over? Is that the cool thing to do now? Because it seems to be a trend, right? Or is that just a rumor?
I think.
I mean, so maybe you can elaborate like what an owner goes through when something like that happens. You know what I mean?
Your hypothesis
mean,
has merit.
Look, in all honesty, right? Eddie's a small company, so the chances that he's got a truck anywhere within probably 1,000 miles of there is pretty slim, I'm assuming. I don't know how far away he is from the shipper, but now a whole issue ensues of trying to get somebody there, praying that reefer has enough reefer fuel to keep it in at -10 before it does get delivered.
Wow. Yeah.
A whole host of paperwork issues, right? I'm assuming paperwork is probably not left with the trailer. Um,
And I'll tell you
so,
another
yeah.
thing to add to that. The trailer is unsecured, so there's no lock, no
Right.
kingpin lock.
Breaking news, he had a quality lease truck that he dumped also and took a bus home.
Who said
What?
that?
Mr. Eric Cornelius.
He had the
I would
driver
find-
had a quality truck.
Wow.
I'd want to know where he's going to get off of that freaking bus stop, and I'd suggest we'd have a few people go there and introduce ourselves.
Oh my
Go
God.
introduce
what
yourself.
A moron. What a moron.
So
No,
I
I
mean,
mean, honestly,
obviously you're going to put that on the guy's deck and stuff, but you know,
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of fees are like, you know, as an owner, what kind of costs are you looking at? I mean, obviously, you know, God forbid, you know, that the load would go bad because you don't know how much money is in there.
I can tell you right now, we're dealing with an issue. It wasn't. Look, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of issues, right? Customer's going to question whether or not the product or the freight was kept at temp. Hopefully the reefer can prove that. I mean, look, you're probably looking at. It's tough to tell. He's probably looking at anywhere from $4 grand or so.
Yeah.
4 to 40.
To get somebody up there,
Let's
and it's just God knows how high it could go. Just everything else depends on a whole host of factors.
let's break it down. I mean, if you don't have a piece of your own equipment in the area, then you have to pay a power only company to come and get it. That reefer's using fuel like you wouldn't believe at -10, so you got to pay somebody to come and fuel it. You may have to pay to get it out of impound if the grocery store dropped it and already nabbed it. It's going to.
Hey, I can answer part of that, Yukon. This is a true story. And Joe, I don't know if you were with us or not when this happened. We had a guy on a reefer load. Honest to God, he calls me one night and says he ran out of fuel. He was taking his 10. He ran out of fuel on the reefer, and it was a neg 10 load. And so I had to call roadside, get a guy out there. 800 and some change. It was north of $800, less than 9. And when I asked but wait, here's the best part, and I kid you not. When I asked the guy, I said, "Where are you? Give me the address, so that I can tell roadside, so they can send a fuel guy, the guy out with fuel." And he was sitting at a truck stop.
What?
Shit you not.
No.
I kid you not. He was at. Yeah, I swear.
Come on.
I put it. I swear to you.
You could have got him
swear to
fuel.
you.
Yeah.
What?
Yep, I swear to you.
Another thing
Yep.
is
So
also not that load it's going to a refrigerated or frozen warehouse. I'm assuming you're going to have to pay to reschedule that load. A lot of these places charge.
Oh, yeah,
$500
they
for you to
will.
do that.
Yeah, they will charge you. Yeah.
Yeah.
They either charge by the hour or to change the appointment
And
entirely, right?
if it's something like what I got, I have dairy products on here. Places that take this stuff want it within certain date range. So if you get there, you know, if you reschedule 2 days later and all of a sudden that stuff's not in their date range, they refuse it all. You have to go back and, you know,
Wow.
reload
Hey,
products
Will.
in their range.
Well, when we get off this call, I'll jump online and see if we've got anybody close up there.
Yeah, I think I think Eric told me that we had a guy that was going up there, but he was still 4 hours away, and they had to send Thermo King out. They sent Thermo King out there to check the trailer and to fuel it.
Sure.
to,
Eric
you know, to
says
make
they
sure.
got a guy in a rental making his way, hopefully get there by midnight.
Yeah, and the kicker is it's unsecured.
Yeah.
So I mean, the grocery store is going to close, and you've got a loaded reefer there with, you know, a plastic seal on the door.
Right. I can only hope that maybe somebody's made a call to that grocery store, just explained the situation to them and made sure that nobody impounds it or anything like that. So
Well, I'm sure they're aware. I'm
Yeah.
sure that Eric and them have reached out to them, but that's just crazy. You know, I mean, professionals don't do that kind of stuff. People that want any kind of respect.
yeah, I mean, he's probably just some dumbass fanboy.
Joe, what do you think? What do you think the best quality a professional driver shows?
The best quality that he shows.
Yeah, like that he possesses, or best personality trait, like the one thing that will separate a professional
determination.
guy.
I'm going to say determination, because there's a lot of traits that truck drivers have to be good truck drivers. But the one that will always stand out would be determination to problem solve, the determination to keep going, the determination to get up, the determination to finish. You know, the crap that we do is hard. It's hard. There's just no way around it. It's just hard. So, that willingness to get up and keep going is a very strong trait that a truck driver has to have, in my opinion.
What do you think, Ike?
About what? Sorry, I'm stage dreaming.
This
The
is what
same
happens
question
when
I-
I
this-
got light on.
I
was
try-
I was trying to
the
get
same
freaking
question
shooter
I
off
asked
mute
Joe
here,
was-
but
It's kind of not.
is
Squirrel.
what do you
Huh?
think, like the best characteristic or trait
Oh.
or skill or something that
Yeah.
that separates a professional guy from an unprofessional guy?
Obviously, I think you kind of have to be self-aware, know who you are, know what we mean, know the history of the industry, respect one another, be courteous. I mean, there's so many things. It's such a loaded question because I could sit there and talk about it all day. What separates just the steering wheel holders, bonehead truckers, whatever you want to call them, from just the real truck drivers that you want to see out here on the road. I mean, come on. You go to a shipper and receiver and you go up to the window and the guy smells like butt, and he's cussing and he's freaking, it's bad. That doesn't represent what I represent. And I hate that when I see that our image is getting worse. And I hate that. But I mean, what's acceptable? I mean, you've got guys like Matt who just ups and just quits, like no big deal. It's nobody's business, blah, blah, blah. And then people just look up to that. People look up to him. They say, oh, if Matt can do it, I can do it. And I hate that crap. I hate that crap. And I wish things would have ended up better over there. But anyways,
Yeah,
that's what I got
mean,
to say.
UConn, you've been around a while. Like,
Sure.
What happened to guys that would do stuff like drop a loaded trailer? I mean, to do like that loaded trailer thing. What years ago?
Oh,
did
you're
guys
done.
even do that stuff back then?
Well, I mean, there wasn't a lot of that. I mean, you want to go way back in the day, there was no like reporting agency or anything like that. I mean, so, and a lot of guys would hijack a load until they got paid. There was a lot of that going on. But to just flat out leave a load that you were hauling in good standing, that stuff wouldn't happen. And if it did, you'd never get a job again. You didn't just you would at least follow through with what you're going to do, and then then quit. Whatever. I mean, guys change jobs all the time. Even back then, guys were changing jobs all the time, but they weren't leaving shit laying around, and they weren't they wanted to get paid, so they would deliver that load.
Scott, do you think that that's one of the hard? Do you think, like, would you say that integrity is one of the hardest things to find in a good driver?
I would say I would say probably the most difficult things, top three most difficult things for us to find are honesty, integrity, and the ability to problem solve. Those three things are the most difficult traits to find in a driver.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, you're all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to add something to that real quick. I think the best suited person out here is someone that is young enough to build their life, truly love trucking and love the nomadic type lifestyle, and build their life around the industry rather than trying to hand jam the industry into an already formed life. That's just kind of my 2 cents on that.
Well, I mean, there is a work-life balance that you can maintain. I do it, and I make excellent money. But you have to know what you're getting into, and you have to understand that those are the terms that you want to, develop your career with. And you also understand that if you want that early on, you're not going to make a lot of money. It took me a long time of busting my ass, being gone all the time, to get to the point where I'm home every other day. I make a really good paycheck. I have an excellent benefits and retirements. I mean, that took years. It did, you're not just going to get it fresh out of truck driving school. And,
Right.
that's just the way it is.
You're hosting this thing. Do you want to take some questions from the comments over there?
I don't have the chat open because it was taking too much
Who's got
bandwidth.
the chat?
I got the chat open. Let's
take some
I'm just
questions there.
I'm just gonna start at the bottom here.
Have you guys posted a question earlier? Repost it so you can see
Yeah,
that
repost
you
a
guys have
question.
questions for
It's
anybody.
a pain in the butt to scroll up. And while you're doing that, when I first started driving, everything was a handshake deal. You could look, the guy you wanted to work for, you could look him in the eye and shake his hand, and you would have that mutual understanding that you would run honorably.
Yeah.
And that guy knew you were going to cheat your logs and all that good stuff. I mean, but that guy was a truck driver too, so.
Yeah, see, I think like back then it was a smaller industry, right? Like everybody was closer, even though it was still big. There was still lots of trucks on the road, but everybody was just more close knit, right?
It was very close knit. I'll give you an example. I haul doubles on the New York State Thruway. There are
Not
many.
to cut you off, is Shooter not on a headset here?
I don't know what's
road
going on.
noise, and I'm hearing an international fall apart going down the road here.
But yeah, so to give you an example, I run doubles on the New York State Thruway. A lot of companies haul doubles on the New York State Thruway between New York and Massachusetts. We all know each other. Most of us by first name. We're such a small, close-knit group, even though we all work for different companies. I mean, we're all Teamsters. I mean, that doesn't make a difference. But
all right, I can see the chat now.
But we're all really close, and so we kind of all look out for each other, because some of these compounds that you have to haul two 48-foot trailers into, there's just not room to get in with two 48-foot trailers. So we all work together, and and when we have that mutual respect for each other.
Spencer's talking about we all need to get together and throw the ELOG mandate out. There's people like that, like OIDA. You make sure that's something I don't preach about a lot, because I am an OIDA member. What, Shooter? Anyway, I don't know. So I'm an OIDA member, and
As am I.
I think everybody should be a part of OIDA, because they're probably the biggest and best organization that helps out driver, no matter if you're a owner operator or independent or even a company driver. It's for everybody.
Yep.
Yeah, I know that there's a to add to that, I think OIDA is huge. There's also a Facebook group that was recently started. I know Tony Justice talks a lot about it. It's called ELD or Me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have seen that, but check out that group on Facebook, ELD or Me. There's I want to say it's over 10,000 drivers or more in there already. It's growing really quick. But there's news and information in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got, Ike? What's another question?
Carolina wants
Keep
to know, tell your experience and years of the industry, all of you. I've got 15.
Today is my 11th year. Today.
What? Oh. I tell you what, hey, JCanell. Joe just comes in with this. I'm thinking I got like this podcast, like this freaking, it sounds like a trailer for like a movie or something come in. I was like, what the crap is going on in my ear? Oh, that's Joe talking. That was weird.
In a world where
Yeah.
the night.
Oh my God, really?
Stupid.
You gonna go all
Look at him
Dave
all
Wilbur
crazy.
on us, huh, Canell?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be
He's-
me. I get it.
He should have been the host. He's got the big sound like
Yeah, he
Wilbur
should be the
usually
host.
has.
Let him be the host.
Yeah.
I
there
like
you go.
that.
I think am I the most junior guy out of the group here?
No.
No, that'd be Wilbur.
No, that would
You
be
and
Wilbur.
you and
Because I'm at 5
Wilbur
years.
and Shooter and you.
You're the
Yeah.
youngest.
Wilbur, how
So-
many? Our Shooter, I guess he's on mute. How many does Shooter have? Hello, come in.
He's-
Where's Shooter?
Hey, sorry about that,
Next
guys. I had to
question.
switch over to backup
Come on, Shooter, don't
Bluetooth
tell the
device.
story.
And
Just don't tell the story. Just be back.
sorry, asshole.
Well,
No, I got about 5 years in.
Yeah. So there
So
you
I
go.
think I'm the.
So I wonder
I think
how many miles we have. I mean, you add up the miles that we all have. So I'm gonna do the math.
probably a couple million.
I've
I've
should
got
say
about
120,000.
4 miles.
I'd say 120,000 miles per person. I wonder how many miles. I know I've got at least 1.5 million.
Yeah, I'm
I
a
got
little
1 million
over
too.
that. I think I'm the old hand in the group here. Because
Yeah, I think you are,
Dave.
I've got 20 years. I started when I was 17. So, and I got Silos. I got 11 years with the Teamsters. Yes. So, I'm the guy that hauls doubles. That's me. But yeah,
So
I started driving a fertilizer truck when I was 17 years old. So
What's the next question? Next question.
I'm sitting here kind of looking through here. Who's the guy on the left that hauls doubles in the T? Oh, that's you, Con Cornelius.
that's me right here.
So only 2 people tell their experience. What was that about there, Carolina? Let's see. I think there are several things.
I'll tell you
that
what,
make a good
and
professional
I
honor
kind of want to
integrity
respond to
work.
that. I want to respond to that question because a lot of people, and this isn't nothing against you, Carolina, but because people ask that question a lot, and I know you're probably asked because you don't know who some of these guys are that are on here, but a lot of people ask that question as if it's a bad thing to be new or a bad thing to have been in the industry for a long time. I think everybody brings something to the table, whether you've been in the industry for a week or 20 years.
Sure.
And everybody thinks differently, and we can all learn from each other. So to be truthfully honest with you, I don't really think it doesn't matter how many years people have in the industry. Yeah, it's nice to know sometimes because you could talk to that guy about things that happened in the past. But other than that, is it like, hey, mine's bigger than yours type deal? Because I mean,
There's a little bit of that.
I mean,
going
who
on.
cares?
I agree.
Really?
I agree because you've got guys out here I've known guys that are really, really freaking stupid that's been out here for 30 years and they are dumb. Those are the guys that are in the stupid TV rooms telling their freaking stupid truck driver stories that no one believes. Then you got a guy that's been out here maybe a year or two that studies the industry, respects it, that probably knows more than that guy that's got 30 years. I've always said that. It's not all about how many years you have. Yeah, that experience helps, but it's all what's up here, man. It's all up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Life
I think
experience has got to count.
I think the years helps your experience as far as your skill.
Yeah.
Life experience has to count for something. I'd like to think that that matters a lot.
I think there's a balance, right? I think there's a balance between experience and gaining that skill And then the potential negative there is the individual that says, I do it this way because that's the way it's always been done. And a lot of things change in business or with technology or whatever it may be. And I think there's a lot of danger in those guys that just continue to do, perform Groundhog Day because that's the way it's always been done. That's a dangerous thing.
Absolutely true.
Something when I worked in safety at night, we actually noticed that the newer guys had less tendency to damage equipment than the older guys.
Sure.
When you look at it on a grand scale, because the newer guys are, think about it. When you're brand new coming in, you're so afraid of hitting a curb or hitting a truck or hitting a pole or whatever it is, with the exception of Ron, honestly.
I was just going to say, is Ron in here?
Snickering. But
poor Ron.
But on a huge scale, from a huge pool of drivers, you'll see that normally the guys that have been out here longer become more complacent because they're like, I've done this a million times. You know what I mean? And as soon as you, as soon as you think you've known everything, or you become that way, put the keys up.
If you put let me just use an analogy. Dave will, you kind of understand this. Dave, who's the most dangerous pilot?
Well, there's several I can think of.
But as far as not people, but like what is the avatar of a dangerous pilot? It's not the new guy. It's the guy who's got a couple hundred hours and
it's
thinks
the guy with it's the guy with bad habits.
Yep.
So hey,
it's the one who's gonna.
What else we got?
I got Brendan Morris wants to know, what would you do? What would you have done different in your career? Regrets, lessons learned, etc. Yeah, go ahead.
Not get married.
Not get married. That's probably, well, we're talking about our career.
No.
My biggest thing is, obviously, here's the thing with Matt leaving like that and what happened. There's been a lot of talking. It's like, oh, if you're married, this is not for you. And I highly disagree. I've been married for I've been married for 18 years, and 15 of those I've been driving. Same thing with Will. Will's been married forever, and does it put out a strain a little bit on the wife? Yes, but it's not. Well, that's
There are tons of jobs where people are away for long periods of time. Tons of them. And marriages do well in those situations, and they do poorly in those situations. And it usually doesn't have anything to do with the job itself. It has to do with how people handle themselves.
Well, my whole situation was I gave up my career, or I disrupted my career to support hers, and we moved around. And I wish instead of doing that, I wish we would have found we'd still be together if we had found a happy balance. Where
I
she
would
could
like to
continue
know,
grow, and I'd be okay. And that's what I didn't do, and it kind of messed things up.
I'd like to know from Scott, because being an owner or involved in the industry in that aspect, would you get involved in the industry? Like at the time when you got involved, if you knew what you know now, would you still do it?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. Howard and I were having this conversation within the past week. And there are a lot of the short answer is, I got into the industry. Investing as an investor, right? And then was asked to problem solve transportation, which was a very big, expensive situation. So the answer is yes. I would still probably, in that situation, yes. Right? And it's a complicated thing. I guess let me segregate it like this. Would I start a trucking company today on my own? No, I wouldn't. And it really comes, and honestly, it really comes down. This will surprise no one that follows my channel. It really comes down to profit and loss and risk and all that kind of stuff that I talk about. So from that perspective, no, I wouldn't, right? From the side of investing in the business, yes, right. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed a lot of the people. I feel like it's a good opportunity to try to help, do some things maybe and create some things in the industry that I don't think is prevalent relative to, companies and opportunities and that sort of thing. But no, just from a pure looking at it and would I want to get into this business versus something different? No.
I find this answer very interesting.
Yeah, no kidding.
And let me tell you why. Now, me and Scott were having conversations via email and stuff of that nature for quite at least a month or two before actually having a conversation.
Yeah.
And in the first conversation, I remember this conversation because I was parked outside of the military base, getting ready to go into the military base. We had this first initial conversation, and I believe I said, "What are you thinking? Why in God's name do you want to start a trucking company?"
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? Is it's not like we acquired assets, and there was a trucking entity that was already in existence. And really, as Joe knows, right, and Wilbur and a few others. And Will, I told you this, right? You're the one that started this crap. What I said is, we operate our trucking company in one of the least efficient ways that you would want to operate a trucking company, but we do that by and large because we have to provide for the mothership, right? The core,
right.
The core of the company. And so that makes us very unique. That also has given me an insight from a level that truthfully is probably really critical. So, when I say we want to grow our company and the things we want to do, it comes from having seen it from really the worst. And there's a lot of value in that, right? At times, that gets back to that same analogy of, you learn from your experiences, good and bad, and it's the lessons that we learn that are bad that we tend not to replicate. And so, the good news is I see things from kind of a very different angle than I think a lot of people. A lot of people think it's going to be great, it's going to be this, I can make all this money, and I can do this and that, and I, like I said, I see it from a very different angle. I know what it takes because we do it in a very unique way.
What I would have done differently is I would have, right out of high school, went and learned basic diesel mechanics and learn how to work on the truck until I got to about 21, 22, and then came into the career field.
That's interesting.
I think so far, and I said this to Scott, we were just talking about it, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but I definitely think the main thing that I would have changed or I would have done differently was I would have had the capital set aside before I got into owning a truck. That's the hugest mistake I've made the entire time because, and you call it what you want, but I got lucky. My truck didn't break down. I had a great, I have a great boss, to help me out and things like that. So that's the hugest mistake I've made or anything that I've done that I should have done differently. And I've told people that numerous times. Scott interviewed me when we met in Denver. I'm not sure if I mentioned it on my interview with Wilbur, but that's the biggest thing that I would have done differently. That's crucial to have that nest egg.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to apologize. Don't ask me any more questions. I got to go in and get these freaking chicken wings and stuff. Otherwise, she's going to kill me.
Playing with my friends.
What else you got?
I'm playing with my friends.
Yeah, y'all go ahead and get y'all's questions in, y'all. Why is everyone out there still reporting that the money is in OTR? Is it, you know,
There,
I don't think it is. I've always said that money wasn't an OTR unless you are, you know, owning your truck as far as the company
well,
driver goes.
The money is
there.
in private fleets.
Okay, well, let's put it in this, area. How much money is money to that person? I mean, it's all
Right,
subjective.
Sure.
If
Relative.
somebody's coming from a $16,000 a year job and they're now stepping into a 25,000, that's money to them. So yeah, it can be an OTR. It can be money. I mean, as a whole in trucking, money's everywhere. I mean, this industry. Holy crap! Who was that? This industry bleeds money on a daily basis. I mean, it's like a heart pumping out, oozing blood and money. It's just you got to be the guy who can take it. You got to be the guy who goes for it. Just getting up and doing 400 miles a day if you actually got a load is not going to get you money. You got to learn the trade. As a company driver, OTR, I've always made money. As a guy in the oil fields, as a flatbedder, as a reefer driver, I've always made money. And that's because, I'm very aggressive in the things that I do. And you got to, and everyone in this chat here is aggressive. There's no sissies in this room. You got to be aggressive.
I think a lot of it comes down to how you work the system, so to say, right? Like
hack the system,
because,
absolutely.
yeah, you're gonna perform better. Certain guys are gonna perform better in an OTR setting or in a local setting or specialized setting or whatever. So I think that's crucial. I definitely think that's what either makes you or break you as an OTR driver or whatever realm you're in.
Yeah, I mean, it's working the system, figuring it out. What do I have to do for it to work for me to get what I need out of it? I mean, laziness just doesn't work here in any division of trucking. It just doesn't work. You got to be willing to, get outside of your box, and tell everybody else to screw their box because your box sucks. My box works. I'm going to go bust up my box. You know what I'm saying? There's 500 ways to be a truck driver. Literally, there's 500 ways.
Awesome. Look, to have the deal then. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you have to find out what works for you. And it also depends on where you live. I mean, different areas you're going to find different opportunities.
Yeah.
So,
but
again,
I think most of us, I think most of us in here have kids, either little kids or up to teenagers. I know Mike does. I do. I know Scott does.
No kids.
What do you I would like to know what your children think of what you do. Like, and you guys in the comments too, do your kids go on the road with you? Do they understand what it is you do? I mean, really understand. Yes, they know that you drive a truck, but do they understand why?
I could tell y'all a little story when my first daughter, she was 2 when, it was 2, almost 3 when I first started driving. And before I started driving, me and her, were just like that. We would just sit there and watch Blue's Clues together and all that kind of stuff. But when I went out on the road for the very first time, I got on a Greyhound bus, and that was probably my hardest day. Was that first time, because the last I remember, because you remember we didn't have the cell phones, you couldn't do the FaceTime or none of that. The last I remember of my daughter was her crying as I was getting on the bus, and I didn't see her for 2 months during my training process, and that was the toughest time. And then, obviously she got used to it. My youngest daughter, she was born into it, and so she obviously she loves it when I come, loved it when I came home, but still do. I'm just talking about, when they were younger. But that first initial time, yeah, it hits you. It hits you, but that's a part of it. In my view, my worldview, the man is supposed to provide for the family. And sometimes it takes you being away for some periods of time. But I also think the man can be disciplined enough to have the right job where he doesn't have to spend months out on the road. You could still have that perfect balance between a husband, father, or whatever, and still be a driver too. It's just finding that right balance.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm home every other day. I make an incredible living, and I get to see my kid a lot, and that means a lot. So, but she's only 4. She doesn't really know what I do. I mean, maybe she does.
Well, yeah, obviously at that age, no, they don't understand it. But I mean, like, I guess, I mean, like for Ike or for my oldest daughter, we both got teenage girls. Scott's got an older son. But do they understand? Like, I guess my question is kind of, do they understand the industry and what it takes to that hey, their dad or is out here moving the country, so to say, like, have they, you know what I mean? The bigger picture of everything, the importance of it.
I mean,
because Ike, you've taken your girls on the road, and everybody knows that I have, obviously. I mean,
I mean, they see it. It's good for you to take your kids out on the road, because Will, you went out on the road with your grandfather when you were a kid. That's the reason why you have a certain respect for the old school out here, and what it means out here.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, my daughters love coming out on the road. They love it. It doesn't hurt that I spoil them to death, but they see the day-to-day stuff that we do out here, and they see what crap we have to put out, and they respect drivers. Our kids.
Yeah, I mean, when you were on the phone, we were on the phone. Was it yesterday or whatever? You were telling me you saw a driver at the truck stop that you're at with his little girl.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is summertime. I think everybody who is able to take their kids out on the road this summer, take advantage, while school is out.
What do you think, Wilbur? I mean, you're the newest kid on the block, I guess, is a appropriate term as far as the panel here is. What do you think about? I mean,
well, I had
before you were
long career. Career of being gone more than 250 nights a year, from what I did, and with no home time, it was like I do 60 and 90-day stretches, and that's how I did it. And I missed a lot of shit. I missed a lot of family stuff. I didn't have kids. Career, I didn't have kids. Had a marriage that broke up, and a lot of that was probably because I wasn't there, although she and I remain really good friends. Now I'm starting this, and I have a new relationship that I'm working on. And there's no getting around the fact that it's tough, regardless if you have kids or not, or what you're doing. There's tons of people that go out and work, and they're gone. Tons of people, musicians, whatever, builders, you name it. But this is a hard business. I said something to myself today to tell this story. I was at a Love's this afternoon getting fuel, and it was crazy. Like 4:30, 5 o'clock, craziness, right? Trucks everywhere, people trying to back in, swift trucks in the world. And it took me a second to realize I got to look at the big picture here, because when you just look at the small stuff, it looks like an unbelievably unnavigable thing, man. Is that a word? Unnavigable?
If it's not, if you just
if you just look at the, I mean, you look at the chaos that was going on. You guys know, right? But it's newer to me, right? I mean, I've been around truck stops and stuff, but not like with a big truck to deal with. And every time I go, I'm blown away by the scene, you know. And little things like that, I think, are the things that you guys are used to that I'm going to be breaking myself in on.
What about you, Jay? I know. What do you think? Like, and like, let's take for instance, like Lo. What does she think? You know, about like when you're gone for an extended period of time or anything.
Hates every minute of it. Literally hates every minute of it. She's put up with it for quite a few years, but you know, she's tired of it. I haven't been in a relationship since I've been in trucking that the other better half hasn't been tired of it, and that's mostly my fault, because I have a way of doing things. I have my way of doing things. It's when I leave the home, so that I don't hurt emotionally for those that I've left behind. I flip a mental switch in my head, and you know, so that I don't miss them as much. You know, that I go into work mode, and my work mode stays on until I hit the door again. And it's, you know, I go. All I'm thinking about is work, and it's part of my ADHD. It's part of my work ethic. It's part of my drive. And honestly, she hates it. But she's willing to put up with it because she loves me. But she hates it.
I mean, even without eyebrows, she loved you. So that's a good one.
I know that's right.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Can I ask y'all a question? How many of y'all have, this is from Atomic Rewind, how many of y'all have a fidget spinner?
I have 40 of them.
I have them.
I've always had
some
a green
version
one.
of a spin. Right now, it's a fidget spinner. Before, it used to be a pocket knife that I would flip open and whatever. I've always had stuff to fidget with. Always.
Mine was I think I could say this, and you guys that have smoked or do or whatever, mine was a Zippo. I've always had a Zippo to
clanking the Zippo.
Open.
Yeah.
I'm always changing like the channels on the radio and stuff.
Yeah.
I fidget spin my Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum.
I also play the guitar. I also play the guitar on the steering wheel while I'm going down the road. When a good Van Halen tune comes on, and all of a sudden I'm Eddie Van Halen with the short bangs.
Oh, you seen Pale Rider with his drumsticks? How many of you guys have drumsticks out here?
I hate drummers, and I'm not a drummer, so I don't.
I'm not a drummer, but I hate drummers.
I'm not a drummer, and I hate drummers. But I have a guitar pick in my pocket all the time.
I have one. I have one in my wallet as well.
Yeah, always have a guitar pick to screw around with. Yeah.
I use a guitar
what kind
pick
of
for checking my tread depth. I don't know what else to do with it.
What about singing songs on the road? I imagine Will sings a lot of songs on the road.
Will sings a lot of songs.
I definitely always singing.
I sing Striper tunes. I sing Cinderella tunes, and I could sing just as good as Michael Sweet and Don Dawkins and the dude.
That's not really saying much.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So what?
What?
What? Imagine Ike is the guy that sings
sing?
movie theme songs and
Really?
show tunes.
Right. Ike sings show tunes.
Is there a Striper hater here?
No.
I'm not a Striper hater, but I'm not a Striper lover. How about that?
Yeah, for real. The Sweet Brothers, they're all right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'll
tell you, and I know Jay can agree. I put on some Dave Matthews and get down the road.
Oh, absolutely.
I jammed a live Dave Matthews down the road. That's
love Dave Matthews.
Oh my gosh,
it's fun.
Did someone say they had a gun available? Please.
I have quite a few. You need one? A couple of arms reach here.
I would start crying.
Alaskan Cowboy. I sing
there's
Frozen
something.
sometimes too because I have a little girl who loves Frozen.
I mean,
so
there's something you brought up, Ike, that someone actually, I don't know if they did a video where I seen it. Oh no, it was the stuff that happened in Phoenix and Buckeye, Arizona. Jay, I'm sure you're familiar with the topic, but the driver. Now clarify me. I think he shot himself, or he was shot.
Shot himself.
Okay, but that started a topic. People were talking about drivers being able to carry, right? Because now, yes, you can get a CCW. You can carry within the state of that CCW. But for instance, California CCW is no good anywhere else. And neither is any other CCW going into California.
Yeah, because they don't share reciprocity. And,
Right,
you know,
Right.
I mean, there's quite a few states that don't share reciprocity, and that'll be California.
My California CCW is worthless. Absolutely worthless.
Yeah, so I mean,
Right.
when do you think, I mean, I'm sure all of you guys will say yes, but do you guys think as drivers, and then Scott as a company owner, do you think drivers should carry, and would you allow your drivers to carry, Scott? Or do you? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know, like, for instance, Knight does not. They have a company policy. Regardless, you cannot.
So, so legally, all I'm gonna say to that is, I want my drivers to be safe and protected at all times. And that's, I mean, not to bag out on this, but that's all I want to say. That's all I want to say on that. Other than I'll say that I'm a huge fan of the Second Amendment. And I think that reciprocity to me is a no-brainer. I've seen the analogy made of a driver's license to a CCW license, and to me it makes all the sense in the world. Even if I was against the Second Amendment, I would still think logically that a license would make sense. But so that's all I want to say. And I say that, one, legally, but really secondly, out of more protection for our guys. I don't really want to announce whether we allow them to or whether we don't allow them to.
So here's a good question for the guys. So for those, obviously there's a lot of company policies out there that you can't carry. That's a company policy. So with what advice would y'all give to people that are not allowed to carry a weapon or a firearm in their truck? What would y'all use to
define weapon? Define weapon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying firearm. I'm saying if you're not allowed to have a firearm in your truck, what would you use to? Because you need protection out here. You need something.
Huckleberry's hammer. Huckleberry's hammer is a nice tool.
The big 6 D-cell mag light, that's handy. That'll do some damage. Yeah.
A decent knife is a great thing.
I mean, you should have a decent knife on the truck anyway.
Yeah,
you should always have a decent knife.
There are some things out there that people do. I know. I forget who it was. I think it might have been one of the female YouTubers that did something, at nighttime, because obviously, I think, and nothing against our female counterparts, but they're more susceptible to someone to try to break into their truck or whatever, obviously, because even though they're not, some people, the guys, they'll see them as weaker targets. But one of them did a video about putting the seat belts through the door handle. Yeah, locking the seatbelt into the seat. And then I know also there's something that looks, Yukon, you might know, Ike might know, something similar. Looks like a load bar, but it goes in where the glass goes in the door. And instead of pushing out, it pulls in to pull the doors in together.
Yeah, I've seen something like that.
Wow.
I have a problem with these devices that they're coming up with, because if that truck catches on fire, they're not getting out. They're going to die.
Well, and I think that's where a good glass breaker comes in.
Right. Your
if they can get past the fire.
Your windshield is they kick out. I have an escape hatch over here.
I have the breaker tool in the door. That's the best I can hope for.
Here's another thing. Wasp spray that shoots out about 20, 30 feet. I'm friggin' blast that crap into someone's face.
Yeah,
it will
you can
detour.
you can get bear spray at Cabela's.
Or even mace in general.
Yeah,
Bear spray.
Bear spray.
Tasers,
Don't have bear
tasers are
spray in
legal.
Texas.
Tasers are legal in most states. Carry a taser.
Like, if I'm licensed to carry, excuse me, if I'm licensed to carry this, which I am, and it's for my safety,
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing where, and I'm not going to advocate where it's company policy is good or bad, but I want to tell y'all something. Over there at Schneider, they say, hey, no guns allowed in our trucks. Well, I'll say, screw that. I would risk getting fired over something like that rather than, than die because I'm just a sitting duck. I mean, I'm not telling everybody to go break their company policy or whatever. Don't put that on me. But I will say that, I mean, I'd rather take that risk than go out there and park somewhere in some dark area where there's no other things available and go get robbed and more than likely get shot.
The only thing I can say, the only thing I can think of is like something I imagine is something going really bad is, and this goes to like the younger guys, okay? Like younger guys are known to want to puff up their chest and, oh, I'm bigger than you, I'm tougher than you type shit. Or the guys that get into it at the truck stop or whatever, is someone pulling out a weapon, to say, oh, and that there's some crazy SOB out there that would do it, be like, waving it around like this is my fucking parking spot, you asshole. You know what I mean? Like, what do you say to that, Jay?
If as long as somebody's not going for their weapon and you want to throw hands, let's throw hands. Okay. I mean, for years, I haven't had a need to pull a weapon. If you want to punch each other in the face, and all that crap, that's fine. Let's do that. But once I see your hand going underneath your shirt, I will pull mine out and drop you. I will drop you. I will not sit there and unload my magazine into your ass.
Yeah, I'm currently developing a policy for my small company to address this, and there's going to be items included in there such as range qualification annually, legal speaks annually. You must carry prepaid legal coverage that specializes in concealed carry, and I might even include some sort of bond. And then from there, you're good. You can carry under the policy. There'll be other things like you can't talk about the policy, you can't talk about your carry status to customers, stuff like that. And, just common sense stuff. But I want to be on record as telling them, yes, you can. You don't have to worry about, hiding it from me. I want to know if you are, but I'm going to require you. I'm going to hold you the same standard as a police officer, basically. You're going to have to qualify to the same level as a police officer. You're going to have to have the same, which, isn't a crazy amount of training, but I think it'll mitigate liability. That and the prepaid legal. If you have to use it, you're going to get arrested. And you're going to need that legal coverage. And since you're in performance of duties as an owner-operator under my company, you're going to pull me into it. So, and another thing is there's going to be at least $1,000 deposit, refundable deposit that I'll hold if you carry under the program. That way, if you do get arrested after using lethal force and you're under a load, I can pay for a tow truck and pay to bail you out. So, I've thought this out.
Nice.
Well,
nice.
let's I mean, we're talking about these dire situations where it's dark, there's nothing around. Let's not forget the last major incident was at a well-lit, heavily patrolled by security truck stop, the TA in Jessup, Maryland, and that wasn't even the guy that got shot and killed wasn't even the guy the assailant was looking for. He thought he was someone else. He thought he was the guy he was looking for, and it was someone else. But that, like I said, that truck stop, even though it isn't in the best of areas, it is well lit, heavily patrolled by security, and still, you know, someone lost their life for no reason. Maybe because maybe if they were able to protect themselves, they'd still be alive. So
Do you guys
No,
think that there's something that we can do besides firearms, besides any kind of weapons, but looking at the locations where we park? Now, I know parking is a huge issue for all of us, but as far as, you know, the secure parking areas, you know, I mean, why do we not? I mean, we all pull, you know, look at any truck stop. How many $1 million of freight is in there? How many people's lives?
Sure.
And why is it not taken into consideration that those areas need to be protected like a freaking airport?
Well, part of the problem is that the security guards who are at these major places are on the take.
Or on the take,
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're on the take. They let the
Or
hookers
they're-
come in. They let the drug dealers walk. They let the pimps walk through. I've seen it. Everyone's seen it.
Or they're young and inexperienced and just don't give a
Okay,
shit.
well, with that being said, then why? And I know a lot of people are against more regulation, more government involvement, but why not something like the TSA? You know, something similar to where government employees or employees of a legit security force, or maybe hey, a little more taxes for local police to hire some actual local police or something. You know what I mean? To where that can't happen.
Right. I mean, there are a lot of truck stops you go to that have local police patrolling it regularly, but
Yeah. Well,
then
you
there are
come under
some-
that private property issue too. You know,
yeah,
the TA pilots, flag agents, they're private property. We don't want the cops on our property. But
Right.
then who's going to pay for it? It'll be the truck stop. But then who's going to pay the truck stop to pay for them? It'll be us with higher prices. That's how that's going to, you know, baffle down or domino effect down.
I don't know, man. I guess I look at Love's, you know, and how they have a reputation for filling up quickly. And you know, I was at one today at 5 o'clock. It was packed, and it's like, you know, you think they want it that way? Like, let's not have too much trouble by being too large. You know.
sure.
Yeah, very true. Loves are the, you know, cleanest mini truck stops in the world.
I mean, you're seeing a lot more truck stops now that you know, you got to pay to park in there. You know, they got like a toll booth, and you either got to buy 50 gallons of fuel or spend $25.
Right, you got to buy
in the
fuel
store.
or spend stuff in the store, right? Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of that showing up, and those places are safe. I'm not gonna lie. You know, for the most part, they're safe.
I mean, I'm sure you guys would agree. I mean, look at Southern California. I mean, each one of us has been to Ontario area, you know, down there where the TA and Petro are. But I mean, even in though okay, you pay to get in there, but you still got fucking Party Row in the back because
you get the riffraff in there.
yeah, because you know, like Joe's saying, you guys are saying that the security folks are on the take. They're letting these people come in. I mean, how do we get rid of that? I mean, me personally, I would pay $10, you know, anywhere I park, you know, to park in a secure location, but know that I'm safe, my truck's safe, the freight is safe, everyone around me is safe from any outside influence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would gladly pay that.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good question. I
That's
actually
a-
just saw this. I'm sorry. Let me
No,
talk.
go ahead.
Let me talk. What truck stop would you all avoid? Now I have 3, but what truck stop would everyone avoid? Anybody? It's a good question.
The Vince Lombardi rest
Anything in
area.
South Dallas.
Yeah, South Dallas.
I mean,
I'll
it's
tell
not
you
as
one
bad as what it
that
used to be, but it's still bad.
The TA's in Fontana, and I would say West Memphis for me
Yeah,
personally.
I'm
Oh,
trying
West
to-
Memphis,
trying to-
most definitely. Yeah. That's probably the worst area right there, West Memphis.
West Memphis is the one everyone talks about.
And even West
Yeah.
Memphis isn't that bad. I've never been bothered in there. You know, you turn the CP
I have.
off.
Oh,
I've never been bothered in there ever. But yeah, here on the East Coast, you got
I'll
the
tell
Vince
you-
Lombardi service area.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the ones that I get, even though it has paid parking, is the Sacramento 49er.
That place is crazy.
That's an
Yeah.
interesting place. I forgot about that place.
That place is crazy, man.
I
I
will
lived in
say
Sacramento for years, and that place has got everybody. I mean, it's not just truckers that talk about the 49er. Let me tell you.
Yeah, like that place it creeps me out. And I will say that I was worried the first time I went to Detroit. Because
Oh, the Detroiter?
The Detroiter is really nice now.
It is. Compared.
No,
they cleaned it up.
But I'm saying, like, as you know, as a guy that never been there before, but the Sacramento, as far as the West Coast, the Sacramento 49er creeps me the fuck out.
Yeah,
that place is.
I think Petro in Atlanta is not a good place either.
No, you're actually
Ain't nothing in Atlanta good.
I've worked for several companies that have been vocal about staying away from the Petro in Atlanta.
Working some of the worst streets in the U.S. as a cop, none of those places you listed bother me. I guess I'm just kind of immune to the shitty amenities. And, you know, every once in a while, you know, have a random guest in the truck, you know, giggity, giggity. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously. Ew. Hey, you know, if you step into my truck, it's going to smell like success. So, you know, it is what it is.
Well, as we well know, Shooter, you put the class in Class A. You know what I mean?
Probably one of the worst stops ever was the Walt Whitman in Philadelphia. That's now a shopping mall, but when it was the Walt Whitman truck stop, it's a pretty rough area. So, but that's all gone.
Yeah, there's a couple of crappy ones in Jersey over by the bridge.
I will say some of the one of the nicest ones I've ever been to that I distinctly remember. I was talking to Ike about it the other day. Was it's a pilot, but it's not a pilot. It's like one of the ones that's, you know, their pilot's name is on it, but it wasn't a pilot. But it's in Billings, Montana. I
know exactly where you're talking about. Yep, I know. I've been there. It's
some of the Balsamans.
Is it a Balsamans?
No, it's not
fuel.
It's not a Bosman's. It was a smaller one. It had recently been remodeled when I had gone there years ago, and it's right by a river. There's a river like right down behind.
I know right where you're talking about. But there is right around the corner is a Bosman's Flying J.
Yes.
But the pilot is somebody else, and I forget. I've been in it, and it's really nice. Yep.
Ike was just in Little America. How was that bath, Ike?
Little America's.
Oh, that bath is awesome. You can make fun of me all you want, but I'll take a bath any day. I got cleaned in places that hasn't been cleaned since my last bath.
The Town Pump is the name of that pilot.
You are correct. That is the one.
Spencer Aldridge came out with it.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, if anyone's been there, that one was. I remember going into the shower in that place, and I walked in, and I'm like, am I in a fucking hotel? Like, holy hell, you know what I mean? I remember as soon as I walked in, I called my wife. I said, I'm gonna send you some pictures. I'm like, you're gonna see this bathroom. And she even answered, she's like, are you in a hotel? I'm like, no, I'm at a truck stop. You know, it was crazy, you know, but yeah, I really, really like that place.
Yeah, I haven't been there in years.
Well, what about anything else?
Go ahead. Here's a good one. Favorite mom and pop type eatery. Like, you know, little place, not your Iron Skillet, not your, you know, fast food joint, something that there's only one of.
One of? Oh, you got the Snowshoe truck stop off of 80 in Snowshoe, Pennsylvania. Place is awesome.
You hear about that place all the time, the Snowshoe.
Yeah. Incredible.
What's the place in Montana? Is that in Bozeman? I'm trying to the big trees or what is it?
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, Will? I can't come up with it now.
Shit.
Is it Billings or Bozeman? I don't remember which, but
I think it might be Bozeman.
yeah. You hear about that in the West from people more than just truckers.
I will tell you, best shower on the West Coast. Any of you guys that ever traveled I-5, best shower on the West Coast for truck driver is at the Rolling Hills Casino.
Yeah.
And it's right there. It's on the 5. Where the fuck? What's the little town right there? Damn it, I can't remember the name of it. But
starts with the C, Will.
You're gonna have to tell me. I don't remember.
I know the place. I can't come up with an not Corcoran. Fuck.
Corning.
Sorry, yeah,
Yes.
Corning. Right.
Yeah, the Rolling Hills Casino. If you go, you go in there. They have obviously the casino and hotel, but they also have an area for truck parking, and they have an RV park. Now, in between the truck parking and the hotel and casino, there is a facility there that has laundry and showers. Buddy, I'm going to tell you, those are the whitest, fluffiest towels I have ever had on my ass while on the road. I mean, and they give you everything. They give you, you know, the towels. They give you a fancy little basket you carry them with it into your. If you guys that are watching, any of you guys have ever been to the Rolling Hills Casino, comment, because it was that place. Definitely. I tell you, definitely go there.
I'll tell you another one if you're on this end, is the Amish Door Restaurant in Wilmot, Ohio. They have you can get a few trucks in there. It's not really set up for trucks, but they do love when truck drivers stop. It's smorgasbord. It's amazing. Amish Door, and there's a shoe shine station. You can sit while you're waiting for your table. You sit down and they'll shine your shoes if you have those types of shoes on. So
nice.
Excellent food.
Yeah.
I haven't been there in years. The Amish Door.
Well, this is definitely fun. We should definitely do this stuff again.
Yeah.
Any last words for everybody?
Last words.
What is your inspiring last message to all the people in YouTube land? Your final thoughts, like Jerry Springer, not Jerry Springer, final thoughts, but Dr. Phil, final thoughts. How about that?
Dr. Phil, final thoughts. Well,
yeah, don't be like Jerry Springer. Be like Dr. Phil, because Dr. Phil is like intelligent, but still the same.
You can pick your nose.
You should wash your ass.
Friends. You can pick your friends, but you cannot pick your friend's nose.
Nose with your ass.
Oh, which, by the way, is Trucker Eric in here? I wonder if he's in here watching.
Speaking of yeah.
Well, I have something profound to say. I mean, I'm
yeah, go ahead.
6 months or so of experience with a little break in there to be sick, and enjoying my first official day OTR with Trucking Exec's company with Bella Floor. There's a lot of hope for people getting started. Don't let all this jaded trucker talk stop you if you want to do well. It's out here to do well with. You got to be determined, I think.
Yeah.
I'm hoping my health holds up, but other than that, I'm happy.
Good deal, man.
There's a lot of food for thought out here, dished out by a lot of people, but a lot of that will give you food for thought poisoning.
No kidding. Right?
Stop. Just stop, Shooter.
You didn't have to think that hard.
Food for thought poisoning.
Don't be a gullible.
That was a total McGavinism right there. That was a total McGavinism.
McGavinism.
I think my final thought is just don't let, no matter what it is you're doing, whether not just with driving, don't let anything stand in your way.
Yeah.
There's always an answer to the riddle. There's always a solution. So I mean, use your environment, use your friends. learn from people's experiences and their mistakes, so that you can get through anything that you face. You know, there's always a way, no matter what.
Brilliant. I love it.
Don't quit your job to spend time with your abruptly to spend time with your family, but take Lenny out for pizza and a movie instead of your family. There. That's
Nice,
profound.
Dave. Profound. Very profound.
Well, Ike, it's your feed, man. You wanna sign us off the way you always do?
Well,
buddy?
yeah. I am Small Fry says that is Charlie Fry actually. Says he just got his 73 lounge stickers on his truck. So Tim Marone here says go. Since Ron Duncan Buckwild Trucking is not here, we dedicate the go get out and look to Ron Duncan Buckwild Trucking.
There you go.
For everybody in the chat, throw a 73 bomb out there for us. Make us feel good. What do I gotta say? Closing moments. I know I talk too much anyway, but I just say, oh shoot, never mind. I didn't have anything. Hey Jay, do you have any last words? You didn't say nothing a while ago.
In a world where truckers get together.
Oh Jesus!
Oh,
Wait. When did Mark
Oh,
State join in?
stop
When
it.
did Mark State come in here?
I'm trying to help
Why?
you
It's
to help
Mark State.
yourself.
I'm helping you.
On Sunday,
Hey, check out my tea bottles.
Sunday. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Hey,
well,
Ike, I
yeah.
appreciate you having me on, man. Appreciate being a part of this. This is cool.
Yeah, we ought to switch channels, like, just kind of rotate channels. You've got to have
Sure.
more than 5,000
Be fun.
subscribers to do it, though. So
Yeah,
so
that's the new rule.
you small potatoes are just out of luck.
I just want to say this one thing. My mom and dad are both fans of like all of you guys religiously. I get like a weekly
Really?
sit rep briefing of everything that's going on. They're the ones that keep me
Hi,
in the
Mom and
loop.
Dad.
Yeah, I was about to say hi, mom and dad, if you're
Mom and
watching.
Dad.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, I'm
Hi,
good we
Shooter's
didn't.
mom. Hi, Shooter's dad.
I'm glad we didn't say anything about how Shooter loves women of questionable.
Women of
gender.
questionable gender.
Questionable, yes, absolutely.
I'm not. I'm glad we didn't mention that, but I
It's
think
well
I
known.
did.
Hey, and just
So-
so everyone knows, I've never hung out with Shooter in a private setting.
All right, you guys.
I need that
gotta
wig
go.
back. I need that wig back.
I gotta go. I'll talk
Yeah,
to you guys
anyways.
later.
Hey y'all, thanks for everybody watching here. We'll do this again. Definitely a fun time.
Real soon.
And thanks for watching. You are
Bye.
good people.
Bye.
And talk to y'all later.
See ya.
73.